What if I told you the most important retirement plan you could have has nothing to do with your financial portfolio? What if the single greatest factor determining whether your golden years are spent traveling the world or trapped in a reclining chair is something you're losing every single day without even noticing? You see, there's a thief that creeps in after the age of 60. It doesn't steal your money or your memories, but something far more fundamental: your strength, your independence. It's a process called sarcopenia, the age-related loss of muscle mass, and it is the quiet epidemic behind falls, fragility, and a loss of the very freedom we work our whole lives to enjoy. Most people accept this as an inevitable part of aging, a slow, sad decline into weakness. They believe the ship has sailed on building, or even maintaining, a strong, capable body. But what if that's a lie? A dangerous misconception that costs us the vitality we deserve. What if the science shows a completely different story? The question isn't whether you'll get older. The question is how. Will you be the architect of your strength or a victim of its decay? Because understanding the principles we're about to cover isn't just about looking better, it's about living better. It's the difference between watching life from the sidelines and being an active, powerful player right until the very end. Stay with me, because what you're about to learn could radically change the course of your life. Welcome everyone to the Dr. Goodwell channel. I'm Dr. Goodwell, and on this channel we don't just talk about adding years to your life, we focus on adding life to your years. Thank you for joining me. We started with a serious question. Are we doomed to become frail as we age? The prevailing wisdom often whispers a grim yes. You've probably heard it. Be careful. Don't overdo it. You're not as young as you used to be. While well-intentioned, this advice is often a prescription for the very outcome we fear. Today, we dismantle that myth piece by piece. We are going to build a new framework based on hard science for building functional, life-enhancing muscle after 60, 70, and beyond. This isn't about becoming a competitive bodybuilder. This is about being able to pick up your grandchild without a second thought. It's about carrying your own groceries, climbing stairs with confidence, and having the physical resilience to bounce back from the unexpected. The stakes we discussed in the opening are real. Sarcopenia is directly linked to a higher risk of falls, metabolic disease, and a decreased quality of life. But here's the spoiler: it is not a one-way street. Your body right now holds an incredible untapped potential for renewal. It's time to learn how to unlock it. Let me know in the comments. Have you ever been told to just take it easy because of your age? So what exactly is this muscle thief, sarcopenia? Let's use an analogy. Imagine your muscle mass is a bustling city. In your youth, the construction crews are working overtime. New buildings representing muscle fibers are going up faster than old ones are being demolished. The city grows, becoming stronger and more robust. As we pass middle age, the dynamic shifts. The demolition crew starts working a little faster, and the construction crew slows down. It's a subtle change at first. You don't notice one or two buildings disappearing. But over a decade, you start seeing empty lots. The city feels less vibrant, less capable. This is sarcopenia. It's a slow, progressive loss of muscle tissue that can begin as early as your 30s and accelerates significantly after 60. It's why a jar that was easy to open last year suddenly feels welded shut. It's why getting up from a low chair requires a little extra push. The danger here is the silent progression. It's not a sudden event like a heart attack, it's a slow leak. By the time many people notice the flat tire, a fall, an injury, or the inability to perform a simple task, significant strength has already been lost. Misunderstanding this process is the first critical error. Thinking it's just about weaker arms is a mistake. It's a systemic weakening that affects your metabolism, your bone density, and your body's ability to handle stress and illness. This brings us to the first giant myth we need to tear down: the belief that it's simply too late, that muscle growth is a game reserved for the young. This idea is so pervasive, it feels like a biological fact. But it is, in fact, a biological falsehood. Your muscle cells don't have a calendar. They don't know you just celebrated your 65th birthday. What they do know is stimulus. They are masters of adaptation. Think of it this way. Your muscles are perpetually listening for a command. For decades, the command might have been to sit at a desk or relax on the couch. So they obeyed, shrinking to become more efficient at doing very little. The misconception is that this is a permanent state. But you can issue a new command at any age. That command is resistance. When you challenge a muscle, you are sending it a powerful signal. We are needed. We are under load. We must become stronger to handle this. In response, your body initiates a cascade of physiological processes to repair and reinforce that muscle tissue, making it stronger and bigger. The capacity for this process, known as muscle hypertrophy, does not vanish with age. It absolutely exists. It may be a little bit quieter, a little less efficient than in our 20s, and we'll get to why in a moment. But the machinery is still there, waiting for the right instructions. Believing it's gone is the self-fulfilling prophecy that leads to inaction and decline. Now, as soon as we talk about building muscle, another topic immediately comes up: protein, and with it a common and understandable fear. Dr. Goodwell, patients ask me, I've heard that a high-protein diet is dangerous. Won't all that protein harm my kidneys? This is a critical point of tension because the fear of causing one problem can prevent us from solving another. So let's clarify this right now. For the vast majority of people with healthy, functioning kidneys, a high-protein diet is not only safe, it is essential for combating sarcopenia. The myth largely stems from a misunderstanding. In patients with pre-existing severe chronic kidney disease, reducing protein intake is a necessary medical intervention to ease the workload on their compromised organs. However, this specific medical advice was somehow extrapolated to the general population, creating a widespread and unfounded fear. It's like seeing a sign that says "no peanuts" in a classroom for a child with a severe allergy, and concluding that peanuts are therefore dangerous for everyone on the planet. For a healthy person, the kidneys are incredibly robust organs, perfectly capable of filtering the byproducts of protein metabolism. The real danger for most people over 60 is not too much protein, but far too little. Consuming inadequate protein is like asking a construction crew to build a skyscraper, but only giving them enough bricks for a garden shed. It simply won't work. The project will fail. So if it's not too late, and protein is safe, why is it harder to build muscle as we get older? The answer lies in a fascinating concept called anabolic resistance. Let's go back to our construction crew analogy. When you were 20, the crew foreman, let's call him Mr. Synthesis, was young, eager, and a great listener. You could give him a small order for materials, a little bit of protein, and a small work order, a bit of exercise, and he'd get a huge crew building immediately. The response was efficient and robust. Now at 60 or 70, the foreman is still on the job, but he's a bit hard of hearing. He's become resistant to the signals. You can't just whisper the order anymore. You have to shout it. You have to provide a larger, more compelling signal to get the same response you got decades ago. This is anabolic resistance in a nutshell. Anabolic means to build up. So anabolic resistance is your body's decreased response to muscle-building stimuli like protein and exercise. It means the same meal that would have triggered significant muscle protein synthesis in a 20-year-old might barely register in a 65-year-old. This is perhaps the single most important biological hurdle to understand. Not knowing about this is why so many older adults try to eat a little better or walk a little more and see no results, concluding, incorrectly, that it's impossible. They aren't shouting loud enough. How do we overcome this anabolic resistance? How do we shout at the foreman so he hears us loud and clear? The first part of the answer is strategic protein intake. It's not just about the total amount you eat per day, but also the quality and timing. The single most important amino acid for triggering muscle protein synthesis, for waking up that sleepy foreman, is called leucine. Think of leucine as the key that turns the ignition of the muscle-building engine. Without enough leucine in a meal, the engine never truly starts, no matter how much other protein is present. As we age, the amount of leucine required to turn that key increases. This is a crucial detail. This is why a breakfast of toast and tea, while providing some calories, does virtually nothing to stimulate muscle growth. It lacks a sufficient leucine trigger. So, what does this mean practically? It means you need to aim for meals that contain at least 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine. Foods rich in leucine include whey protein, lean meats, fish, poultry, eggs, and dairy products. For plant-based individuals, sources like soy, lentils, and beans are good, but may require larger quantities or combinations to hit that leucine threshold. Spreading your protein intake throughout the day in these leucine-rich boluses is far more effective than eating one huge protein-heavy dinner. You're essentially turning the key to the engine multiple times a day, ensuring the construction crew is always on notice. Now for the second, equally important signal to wake up that foreman: the exercise itself. And here we hit another myth that paralyzes people: the idea that you need to be in a loud, grunting gym, lifting scary, heavy weights like a professional athlete. This image is intimidating, and the fear of injury is very real and very valid. If you believe your only options are powerlifting or the sofa, most will wisely choose the sofa. But this is a false dichotomy. The key is not the amount of weight on the bar. The key is the stimulus provided to the muscle. Your muscles don't have eyes. They don't know if you're lifting a fancy dumbbell, a resistance band, or a can of soup. All they know is tension. They only understand one question: am I being asked to do something that is harder than what I am used to? This principle is called progressive overload, and it is the cornerstone of all strength training. You can achieve this with light weights, resistance bands, or even your own body weight. The goal is to challenge the muscle to the point of fatigue, that moment where you feel you can only do 1 or 2 more repetitions with good form. That feeling of challenge is the signal. It's the work order being delivered to the construction site. Misunderstanding this leads to one of 2 errors: either avoiding exercise altogether out of fear, or performing movements that are too easy and provide no adaptive signal. So what does a perfect workout look like for someone over 60? Forget isolating tiny muscles with 1,000 different exercises. We need to focus on efficiency and function. The answer lies in compound movements. These are exercises that use multiple joints and muscle groups at the same time. Why are these so perfect? 2 reasons. First, they are incredibly efficient. You get more bang for your buck, stimulating more muscle in less time. Second, and more importantly, they are fundamentally functional. They mimic the movements you perform in everyday life. Think about it. What is a squat? It's the exact movement of getting up from a chair or the toilet. What is a deadlift? It's the proper back-sparing way to pick up a bag of groceries or a grandchild from the floor. An overhead press? That's putting a heavy dish away on a high shelf. A row? That's starting a lawnmower or pulling open a heavy door. By training these movements, you aren't just building abstract muscle. You are directly building the strength to perform the tasks of an independent life. You're making daily activities easier and safer. A simple, effective routine could be built around just a few of these key movements, performed 2 or 3 times a week. The focus is on perfect, safe form first, and then gradually increasing the challenge, whether that's more repetitions, more weight, or using a stronger resistance band. We are training for life, not for a competition. We've sent the 2 big signals: a leucine-rich meal and a challenging workout. The construction crew has their materials and their blueprints. But when does the actual building happen? This is a point many people, young and old, get wrong. The growth does not happen in the gym. The workout is the stimulus. The growth happens during recovery. For the over 60 individual, recovery is not just a part of the program, it is the program. This is where your body repairs the microscopic muscle tears caused by exercise and, in response, rebuilds them stronger than before. If you neglect recovery, you're just breaking down muscle without giving it a chance to rebuild. It's like a construction crew that only does demolition. What does smart recovery look like? First and foremost, sleep. This is when your body releases crucial hormones like growth hormone that are vital for repair. Aiming for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep is non-negotiable. Second, rest days. Your muscles need time off. Working the same muscle groups hard every single day is a recipe for injury and burnout, not growth. 2 to 3 non-consecutive days of resistance training per week is often the sweet spot. Third, general stress management and hydration. Cortisol, the stress hormone, is catabolic. It breaks muscle down. Managing stress is a pro-muscle strategy. Failing to prioritize recovery is the fastest way to stall progress and get discouraged. It's the silent partner to your efforts, in the kitchen and the gym. Building muscle isn't just an event that happens for 1 hour in the gym a few times a week. It's a lifestyle that unfolds over the other 23 hours of the day. You can have the perfect workout plan and a flawless protein strategy, but if the rest of your life is working against you, progress will be slow. Let's think about hydration. Muscle tissue is about 75% water. Even mild dehydration can impair strength, increase fatigue, and hinder the recovery process. Are you drinking enough water throughout the day? It's a simple variable that has a profound impact. Now consider general nutrition beyond protein. Are you eating a diet rich in vitamins and minerals from fruits and vegetables? These micronutrients are the nuts and bolts for the construction crew. They are cofactors in thousands of metabolic processes, including energy production and tissue repair. You can't build a strong house with faulty wiring. I once had a patient, a 72-year-old man named Arthur. He started lifting weights and focusing on his protein, but the big change came when he started seeing the whole picture. He started taking daily walks for stress relief, prioritized his sleep, and made sure to drink water consistently. He came to my office 6 months later and said, "Dr. Goodwell, the strength is great, but the real surprise? I have the energy of my 50-year-old self. I just feel capable." He didn't just build muscle, he rebuilt his entire operating system. We've spent the last 20 minutes talking about leucine, compound lifts, and recovery. We've been discussing the mechanics of building muscle. But I want you to pause for a moment and ask a deeper question. What are we really building here? Is this whole endeavor just about bigger biceps? Is the goal simply to be able to lift a heavier dumbbell this month than you could last month? I don't think so. This isn't just a physical project. It is a profound psychological one. Every single time you choose a protein-rich meal, every time you complete a challenging set of squats, you are casting a vote. You are casting a vote for a more capable future self. You are sending a message to your own body and mind that you are not fading away. You are actively fighting back against the narrative of decline. This is the hidden core of what we're doing. Building muscle after 60 is an act of defiance. It's a rebellion against the low expectations society often places on aging. It's a declaration that your story is not over, and you intend to be a strong, active protagonist, not a passive observer. The muscle you build is the physical manifestation of that decision. It is resilience made visible. It's the confidence to know that if you stumble, you have the strength to catch yourself. That is a feeling no financial portfolio can ever buy. The ultimate goal, then, is not a certain physique. The ultimate goal is agency. It's the freedom to say yes. Yes to the impromptu trip with your family. Yes to getting on the floor to play with your grandkids and being able to get back up again with ease. Yes to carrying your own suitcase, walking through a new city, or simply living in your own home with confidence and independence for as long as possible. Sarcopenia steals that agency. It forces you to say no, or I can't, or I'm afraid I might fall. Building strength gives that agency back to you. It widens your world instead of shrinking it. So let's bring everything we've learned together. We know we must overcome anabolic resistance. We do this by shouting, not whispering. We shout with our diet by consuming adequate protein, spread throughout the day, in meals that are rich in the key amino acid, leucine. And we shout with our exercise by performing challenging resistance training, focusing on functional compound movements 2 to 3 times per week. And critically, we listen to our body's need for recovery, prioritizing sleep and rest days to allow the real growth to happen. This isn't a complex formula. It's a clear, science-backed path to reclaiming the strength that is rightfully yours. It's about building the engine of your own vitality. Theory is one thing, but action is everything. I don't want you to leave this video with just information. I want you to leave with a plan. A simple, 3-step plan you can start this week. Step 1. Calculate your protein target. A good starting point for active older adults is 1.2 to 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram of your body weight. If you weigh 70 kilos, that's 84 to 112 grams of protein per day. Don't get overwhelmed. Just start by tracking your intake for a day or two. You might be surprised. Then focus on adding 1 high-protein, leucine-rich food to each meal. A scoop of whey, a Greek yogurt, or a portion of chicken. Step 2. Schedule 2 workouts. That's it. Just 2. Pull out your calendar right now and block out 2 30 to 45-minute slots for resistance training. Treat them like a doctor's appointment you cannot miss. Your first workout can be as simple as bodyweight squats, wall push-ups, and rows with a resistance band. Step 3. Master one movement. Don't try to do everything at once. For the first 2 weeks, make your goal to master the form of a single, crucial exercise, like the bodyweight squat. Watch videos. Practice in front of a mirror. Focus on moving well. Once you feel confident, you can add another. This approach, Start small, be consistent, and focus on quality is how you build lasting habits and real, tangible strength without getting overwhelmed. You now have the science, the strategy, and a simple action plan to begin building muscle, energy, and agency, no matter your age. You understand that sarcopenia is not a mandatory sentence, but a condition you can actively fight. You know that anabolic resistance is real, but you know exactly how to overcome it with strategic protein and smart functional exercise. The myth that it's too late is just that, a myth. Your body is ready to adapt. The only question is whether you are ready to give it the right commands. The journey to a stronger, more resilient future starts with a single decision, followed by a single action. Your first action today is to engage with this community. I want you to go down to the comments right now and answer this one question. What is the single most important activity that you want to be strong enough to do for the next 10 or 20 years? Is it traveling, gardening, playing a sport, or simply living independently? Declaring your why is the most powerful fuel you can have. And if you found this guide helpful and want to continue learning how to apply science to live a better, stronger life, make sure you subscribe to the Dr. Goodwell channel and turn on notifications. Your best years are not behind you. They are waiting to be built.